Good morning, students. Welcome in Pharmacognosy lecture. Today I will start the first chapter of Pharmacognosy. History and scope of the Pharmacognosy. Okay. In previous lecture, we have discussed about the syllabus of Pharmacognosy. Okay. First chapter is History and Scope of the Pharmacognosy. Firstly, we will see the definitions. Okay. Definition of the Pharmacognosy. Pharmacognosy means what? Pharmacognosy is defined as the systemic and scientific study structural, physical, chemical, and biological characteristics of crude drug, including the study of their history, cultivation, collection, and preparation for markets. Okay. In that, the general chemical characteristics is the general color, odor, taste, size, shape, and special features like touch, texture, then fracture, present of trichomes, and presence of the residues of crude drugs are studied under the morphology. Okay. Then aromatic odor, umbelliferous fruits, and sweet taste of the licorice are the example of this type of evaluation. Okay. Then these are the definition of the pharmacognosy. The pharmacognosy is defined as the systemic and scientific study, structure, physical, chemical, and biological characters of crude drugs, including the study of their history, cultivation, collection, and preparation for markets. History of the crude drugs, then cultivation of drugs and preparation for markets. These are the definition of pharmacognosy. Then next is laxatives and purgatives. The drugs which are promote defecation are called as the laxative. For example, castor oil, senna, rhubarb, aloe, and isabul. These are the examples of laxatives. Okay. Definition is to promote the defecation is called as laxatives. Then next definition is cardiotonics. Cardiotonics is the drug which increases the force of cardiac muscles and stimulate the activity of heart. फोर्स ऑफ मसल कार्डियक मसल काय करतं तर फोर्स ऑफ इन्क्रीज करतं फोर्स ऑफ कार्डियक मसल अँड स्टिम्युलेट करतं कशा काय तर ॲक्टिव्हिटी ऑफ हार्ट इज कॉल्ड ॲज कार्डिओटोनिक्स. ओके. फॉर एक्झाम्पल डिजिटॅलिस अँड अर्जुना इज कॉल्ड these are the example of cardiotonics. Cardiotonics means increase the force of cardio muscle and stimulate the activity of heart is called as cardiotonic. Then next is carminatives. Carminatives means what? The drugs which expel the gases from GIT by increasing the peristalsis are called as the carminatives. The drug which expel the gases from GIT by increasing peristaltis are called as carminative. For example, fennel, coriander, then cardamom, ginger, clove, then cinnamon, and etc. Okay, these are the examples of carminatives. Then next is astringent. Astringents, the drug which are causes the precipitation of superficial proteins are called as the astringents. Cause the precipitation of superficial proteins are called as astringent. For example, black catechu and pale catechu. These are the example of astringent. Then analeptics. The drugs which stimulate the central nervous system, that is CNS, and known as the analeptic or CNS stimulant. stimulate the central nervous system. These drugs stimulate the central nervous system are known as the analeptic or CNS stimulant. For example, Naxomica and Lobeline. These are the example of analeptics. Okay. The next definition is antihypertensives. The drugs which reduce the elevated blood pressure to the normal level are called as the antihypertensive. Reduce the elevated blood pressure to the normal level. Elevate करतं blood pressure to the normal level is called as antihypertensive. For example, Rolfia. Rolfia is the example of antihypertensives. Then antitussive. The drug which are used for the treatment of cough called as the antitussive or anti-cough agent. Antitussive or anti-cough agent. For example, Vasakal, Tulsi and Tolu balsam. Okay. Antitussive drugs which are used to treatment of cough called as the antitussive or anti-cough. For example, Vasaka and Tulsi and Tolu balsam. Okay. Next is the anti-rheumatics. Anti-rheumatics drugs are used to the treatment of rheumatism are called as the anti-rheumatics. Okay. For example, Gugul and Colchicum. Okay. Treatment these anti-rheumatic drugs which are used to treatment of anti-rheumatism are called as anti-rheumatics. Gugul and Colchicum is the example of anti-rheumatics. The next definition is anti-tumor or anti-cancer agents. The drugs which are used in the treatment of cancer. Anti-tumor and anti-cancer, the drug which are used to treatment of anti-cancer called as the anti-cancer agents or drugs. For example, Vinca. Okay, Vinca is the example of an anti-tumor or anti-cancer agent. The next is the antileprotics. In that, the drugs which are used in the treatment of leprosy are called as the antileprotic drugs. For example, Cholmogra oil. Okay. Antileptic means what? The drugs which is used for the treatment of leprosy are called as the antileprotic drugs. For example, Cholmogra oil. Okay. The next is antidiabetics or hypoglycemic agents. The drugs which are used to treatment of diabetes mellitus are called as the antidiabetic drugs. For example, Gymnema and Pterocarpus. Okay. Antidiabetics means what? The drugs used in the treatment of diabetes mellitus are called as the antidiabetic drugs. For example, Gymnema and Pterocarpus. Okay. The next definition is diuretics. The diuretics increase the formation of excretion of urine called as the diuretics. Diuretics means what? The drugs which are increase the formation of excretion of urine are called as the diuretics. For example, Gokharu and Punarnava. The next is the disinfectants. The drugs which kills the bacteria and their spores when applied on the non-living tissue are called as the disinfectants. Okay, disinfectants, the drugs which are kills the bacteria and their spores when applied to the non-living tissue are called as the disinfectants. For example, benzoin, myrrh, then neem, curcuma and turmeric. Then next definition is anti-malarials. Anti-malarials means what? The drugs which are used in the treatment of malaria are called as the anti-malarial agents. Okay. For example, Syncona. Syncona is the example of anti-malarials. Anti-malarials means the drugs which is used to treatment of malaria. Malaria are called as the anti-malarial agent. Okay. Then next is the oxytoxics or Ichbolics. The drugs which stimulate the uterine contraction and expel the contents of uterus are called as the oxytoxics. For example, ergot. Okay. The drugs which is stimulate the uterine contraction and expel the contents of uterus are called as the oxytocics, for example ergot. Okay, then vitamins. Vitamins are the organic substance present in the small amount in the natural food stuffs and are essential for the growth of body and normal metabolism. Vitamins mean what? The vitamin are the organic substance present in the small amount of natural food stuff and are essential for the growth of body and normal metabolism. For example, shark liver oil, that is vitamin A, and amla, that is vitamin C. Okay. Then next is enzymes. Enzymes are the protein substance which catalyze the various biochemical reactions. For example, papain, then diastase and yeast. The enzyme are the protein substance which catalyze the various biochemical reaction. Papain and diastase and yeast are the example of enzymes. Then next is the perfumes. Perfumes, these are the substance made from the natural or synthetic materials are used for the creating a pleasant odor. Creating a pleasant odor, for example rose, jasmine, sandalwood and citronella. Okay, the perfumes, these are the substance made from the natural or synthetic materials are used for the creating then a pleasant odor, for example rose, jasmine, sandalwood oil, citronella. Then next is the flavoring agents. These are the agents used to give a pleasant flavor to the formulation. For example peppermint oil, lemon oil, orange oil and lemongrass oil. Flavoring agents means what? These are the agents used to give the pleasant flavor to the formulation. For example peppermint oil, lemon oil and orange oil and lemongrass oil. Okay, then next definition is pharmaceutical aids. The substance which are little or no therapeutic value but are the essentially used in the manufacturing of compounding of various pharmaceutical products are known as pharmaceutical aids. Pharmaceutical means what? Pharmaceutical aid means the substance which are little or no therapeutic value but are essentially used in the manufacture of or compounding of various pharmaceutical products are known as the pharmaceutical aids. For example honey, starch and acacia and gelatin. Okay. The remaining definition we will see in next lecture. Okay, I will stop here. Thank you. I will revise the today's part, that is definitions. Pharmacognosy. Pharmacognosy is defined as the systemic and scientific study, structure, physical, chemical and biological characteristics of crude drug, including the study of their history, cultivation, collection and preparation for markets. Then laxative, cardiotonics, carmatives, then astringent, analeptics, antihypertensives, antitussive, anti-rheumatics, then anti-tumor, anti-lipolytics, then anti-diabetic, diuretics, antiseptic, then disinfectants, anti-malarials, oxytocics, vitamins, enzymes, perfumes, and flavoring agent, and last is pharmaceutical aid. Okay, this part we will discuss in today's lecture. The remaining part we will discuss in next lecture. Okay, I will stop here. Thank you.